Hey guys, UninterestingGamer here, and we're back. This time, we are going to be doing the Chapter 2 class trial. We're gonna have to find out who killed Chihiro, and yes, let's get our skills ready. We got downshift and upshift. Increases aim speed. I do not think we have enough whatever. But yes, let's finish preparations. And start the class trial.
Let's begin with a basic explanation of the class trial. So, your votes will determine the results. If you can figure out, then I'll punish everyone besides the blackened, and the one that
who it
deceived
is,
everyone else.
y'all will die.
Then. So, first off, let's talk about the murder weapon.
First, we have to make it clear what was used to deliver the fatal blow. And obviously, that's the dumbbell. So...
Chihiro's fatal injury. It appears it was a head wound.
A head wound.
According to the Monokuma file, the killer used a blunt instrument. But what kind of blunt instrument could it have been?
I
bet it was an iron pipe. No, that's wrong.
That is wrong, Yasuhiro. Where's the fucking
Can we
iron
agree
pipe,
that the
dude?
object that dealt the fatal blow was the dumbbell found at
Where
the
did
scene
you
of the
get
crime?
an iron pipe?
It was covered in blood, and there was nothing else at the scene that could have caused that kind of injury.
Celeste's gonna come up with some bullshit like, oh, well, they could have moved it.
And
Okay.
the wound on the victim's head is consistent with the shape of the dumbbell. As far as I'm concerned, there's no mistake and no room for doubt on this one.
You looked at her head wound?
Yay! That's so creepy!
If you don't mind, I will proceed from here. Let's move on to discussion of the culprit. Although, I believe the criminal behind this heinous act is already quite clear.
Yes.
What? For real?
Chihiro's killer is the fiendish serial killer, Genocide Jack.
Genocide Jack, the fiendish serial killer. Did he really kill Chihiro? New element has added non-stop debate. Tell me about it. Lines of white noise. Oh yeah, white noise. You have to shoot them away.
The culprit is Genocide Jack. I'm sure of it. Case closed, as far as I'm concerned.
But that's impossible!
Why? What makes it impossible?
Well, I mean, come on! There's just no proof for it.
Hey, so, speaking of Genocide Jack, I don't know who that is!
So Genocide Jack would have to be... It would have to be the case file.
The culprit is Genocide Jack. I'm sure of it. Case closed, as far as I'm concerned.
But that's impossible!
Why? What makes it impossible?
Well, I mean, come on! There's just no proof for it.
Oops.
Hey, so, speaking of Genocide Jack, I don't know who that is!
Bro, the white noise. That was perfect timing.
The culprit is Genocide Jack. Case closed, as far as
But that's impossible!
Why? What makes it impossible?
Well, I mean, there's just no proof for it.
There we go.
No, that's wrong.
Well, at least they don't make it so it's like you get it wrong, you know? Because that would be fucked up.
Might
That's
know
not even a
one
statement, it's
reason he
white
could be
noise.
involved.
What?
I found this file while I was looking around the archive in the library. I guess it's some kind of confidential file the police put together about the Genocide Jack case.
What? That's kind of weird as shit, isn't it? What was something like that doing in the library?
The why of it is probably more trouble than it's worth. So let's forget about that for now. More importantly, it outlines all the specifics of every Genocide Jack case in exceeding detail. According to the file, there appear to be two defining characteristics in every Genocide Jack case. The first is that a bloody message is found written at the scene of every murder.
Oh, that's right.
boob lust.
No. It's actually bloodlust.
But more important is
That'd
the
be
other
funny.
characteristic, and it's
That'd be
something
kinda
that has
fucked up,
never been
too.
made public.
Oh, it wouldn't make
Never made
sense.
public? What the
Because
hell is
the
it?
victims are male.
Why don't you tell them, Makoto?
Other characteristic. Writing message where the murder took place.
I
How the
got
victim
it.
was positioned.
Apparently, in every Genocide Jack case, the killer suspends the body in a certain way. Other than the killer, the only people who know about this are the higher-ups in the police department.
However, Chihiro was most definitely suspended in the same way. So, how did the culprit know about this when only high-level police officials were aware of it? There's only one logical answer I can think of. It's because the culprit in this case is the real Genocide Jack.
No fucking way!
You're saying Genocide Jack is one of us?
Genocide Jack is among us.
Yes, in fact, it's Toko.
What?
Genocide Jack's true identity is Toko Fukawa.
What? Hey, okay, wait, hold on a sec. Toko has like bloodophobia or whatever, remember? What kind of serial killer is afraid of blood?
Is Toko Genocide Jack? The answer is yes and no.
Another riddle. Man, why is this gotta be so
You can
complicated?
tell that Makoto. It does seem like a riddle in a way, but I feel like I can just about see it. Genocide Jack is Toko, but isn't Toko. What does it mean? Oh. It's gonna make me DID. Schizo. Schizo.
Now I understand.
Al, is schizophrenia or schizo, being a schizo
Is it
related
because
to,
Genocide Jack has a split personality?
you know, being split personality? I think it's just Toko's a schizo and then the psychopath is Genocide Jack.
I think I read that somewhere in the file too. They thought that the suspect might have, what did they call it? Dissociative identity disorder.
Oh, okay. But still, to go and say that about Miss Fukawa is...
Perfectly acceptable. Toko's strange behavior after seeing the body is proof enough that she has a split personality.
She revelate her behavior
I
change.
got it! You're talking about how she started acting totally different than usual, right?
When it's psychology,
That's
it's
right.
behavior,
Think back.
right?
She fainted when she saw Chihiro's corpse, and then, when she woke up,
Yeah, she became crazy right there.
She was acting funny, that's for sure. That melancholy tone of hers completely disappeared.
Don't go assigning adjectives to my tone without permission.
not to mention, once she regained consciousness and saw Chihiro's body again, she was utterly calm. In other words, within her is one personality that can handle blood, and one that obviously can.
So when Toko trapped herself in her room, it's because she was scared of Genocide Jack?
But she's Genocide Jack herself. Oh, well, she knows she has Genocide Jack.
The reason she locked herself in her room wasn't to keep other people from getting in. It was to keep her other personality from getting out.
What?
Toko was afraid. Afraid of the murderous fiend inside of her.
How? Yeah. How can you know all this?
I do believe you misunderstood her. What she's trying to say isn't, how can you know all this? No. What she wants to know is, how could you tell them?
Huh?
Last night, just before Monokuma gave his motive speech, Toko and I had a strange conversation. She told me a most interesting story. She said a murderous fiend lived within her, and she was afraid it could appear and attack at any time. And that trepidation is what's caused her to have such a bleak attitude. Isn't that right, Toko?
This is all a lie. Right, Toko?
You said you wouldn't tell anyone.
She's about to go, Danganronpa, guys. It's the title of the game. Holy shit.
You promised. I can't believe you lied.
You have only yourself to blame. You came to me with your tragic little story. I didn't ask you to. This is the real world, not some romantic fantasy fairy tale. Besides, you broke your promise first. You said that as long as you were here, no matter what, you wouldn't let Genocide Jack kill anyone. But in spite of that promise,
You said if I kept my promise, you would go out with me.
I think the promise is that she let Genocide Jack out. That's the promise, not to kill anybody.
That's the only reason I promised.
Because that would make him interested,
how
right?
many times do I have to tell you? I never said that, but you weren't able to do it. You just couldn't resist that rush you got from killing.
I tried. I swear I tried to control it,
But your efforts were useless. What a disappointment.
I hate you.
Well, the opening act is nearly finished. All that's left is to hear from the person in question directly.
The person you don't mean.
Genocide Jack. Toko's body suddenly lunged backwards. A huge thud echoed across the courtroom, but in the next second...
Well, hello there! Is it me you were hoping to see? What the heck? So you figured it out, huh? Well, whatever. What are you gonna do? I'm the ultimate murderous fiend, Genocide Jack! Or better yet, let's go with Genocide Jill!
What the fuck is this?
Toko, what happened to you?
Not Toko, that's a loser name. And what happened is a textbook split personality. So what if one of them happens to be a serial killer? You should turn a blind eye to one's faults.
So intense.
Like they say, sound in murderous mind, sound in murderous body.
This one is so different from the one we've come to know.
Yes, well, the world is composed of a front and a back, you know. Just like how every inning has a top and a bottom, or how in the depths of every truth lives a little lie. Behind every dark and gloomy soul lives another that shines as bright as the sun!
This is a murderous fiend, Genocide Jack? This is beyond insane.
Miss Jack, Jill, what's up? Some of us think you might be the mastermind behind our entire situation. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, I'll tell you, I am the mastermind of all masterminds! Just kidding!
Then it's not true?
Of course it's not true! How dare you try to link me to that creepazoid? And another thing, the police and government and society in the outside world are totally powerless! I mean, they just let this idiotic bloodthirsty maniac go buck wild all over town!
Sure, I'm a bloodthirsty maniac, but life is pain, right? To live is to hurt other people.
You know, it would have been cool if they introduced her, with a CG card and it said Ultimate Serial Killer.
It's a
That'd be
necessary evil if you
chilling.
want to survive.
That'd be kinda cool.
The act of living itself causes pain for everyone. Just kidding again!
This should be enough to convince you. This murderous fiend is responsible for Chihiro's death. There's clearly a motive, so there's
A motive?
Remember what Monokuma told us? If someone didn't murder and graduate within 24 hours,
I thought that
an embarrassing memory or
she didn't
secret
kill
would be
girls.
revealed.
Isn't there a fourth thing? They only killed guys. I only saw guys.
Well, let's assume that Toko's secret was about Genocide Jack. If a secret like that came to light, Toko's life would have undoubtedly been forever ruined. So she had a very clear motive to never have that side of herself exposed.
Interesting. Very, very, very interesting. But sorry, as much as I hate to admit it, I'm not the culprit. But I cannot imagine
anyone other than you could murder someone in such a bizarre fashion.
Maybe so, but nevertheless, it's the truth.
Do you really expect any of us to believe you?
Yeah. I could never believe a word you say, you monster.
Maybe she's totally right about that, but something's still bothering me. What she said, I need to get more details about all this. Make your argument.
Sorry, but I didn't kill anyone.
You say that, but
What's the status of the dead body? What does that mean? Some kind of rope. Disappearing state.
Perhaps if you had an alibi, that would change things.
Oh, an alibi, huh? Now
When you compare your past murders to this, the modus operandi matches completely. What more proof?
No,
Give it up. You
it
killed
doesn't match. The mode of operation
sorry,
does
but
not
I didn't
match.
kill anyone.
you say that.
Ergo
but do
is
you
the
really
status of the dead
Perhaps if
body.
you had an alibi.
Oh, an alibi, huh?
When you compare your past murder, the modus operandi matches completely.
Nope, it doesn't.
No, that's wrong.
Because here's the thing, right? She was obviously bound with rope instead
Are
of
the
scissors,
methods
right?
of murder really exactly the same? I think there's a slight difference between the Genocide Jack cases and this one.
Huh? How's it any different?
Uh-oh, you don't know? Well then, human garbage, let me tell you! I murder with passion and conviction. I consider myself a professional, and I have a very particular way of doing things. Imagine you go to a fancy Italian restaurant. They're very picky about the noodles, the sauce, everything. But what happened to Chihiro? It'd be like if that same Italian restaurant started using ragu or Chef Boyardee. This is no creation of mine.
Let me rephrase that in a way that maybe makes more sense. There are two clear differences between the Genocide Jack cases and this one.
The victim's fatal injury.
I got it! For one, the cause of
Oh
death
yeah, they
is
were
different.
stabbed to death instead of like bludgeoned with
In
a
the Genocide Jack
blunt
murders,
object.
all the victims were killed the same way. According to the case file, they were all apparently killed with a But Chihiro died from a blow to the head, right?
Ah, yes. That is remarkably different from the other murders.
Wouldn't it be strange for someone who kills the same way without fail to suddenly change their method? And there's more. One more conflicting detail.
That's right. In my recipe of murder, if the bloody message is the tortellini, then the arrangement of the body would be the pesto sauce.
Could you please stop comparing killing people to cooking? So, are you saying the other difference has to do with how the body was arranged?
The second difference is how the body was posed. What was used to suspend her?
I got it!
Yeah.
Do you remember what the killer used to suspend her? They used some kind of rope to hang her up by her wrists.
What is your point?
Well, in all the previous Genocide Jack cases, something else was used to suspend them. Specifically, pairs of razor-sharp scissors.
And guess what? I use my own specially designed scissors for the murders and the arrangement. Like I said, I'm a professional, so naturally I'm very picky about the tools I use. And you know what else? Big Mac said there's two differences, but he's wrong.
Big Mac? Are you referring to me?
I think
Listen
so.
up, Big Mac. There's actually one more difference.
Huh?
My word, you really didn't notice? Take a look at who the victims were in each Genocide Jack case. There's a pattern there, just waiting to be discovered.
A pattern?
I wonder what pattern it
Figure
is.
that out, and it'll be plain as death why I couldn't have possibly killed that little lolly girl.
Lolly. Because Chihiro was a girl.
Is it because Chihiro was a girl?
Bingo, bullseye, right on the money!
What are you talking about?
In all the Genocide Jack cases, all the victims had something in common.
They were all guys?
That's right! The people I killed
Yeah.
with such passion and conviction are all adorable little men! I can't believe I said it! I'm so embarrassed!
The hell is wrong with you?
I can't help it! I'm just a full-throttle boy-on-boy fangirl! And the mopey side of me just hates it! But now I'm on the fast track to becoming a full-fledged fan madam!
So since Chihiro was a girl and not an adorable little man, you wouldn't kill her?
Would an Italian chef suddenly start making ramen just because they're both noodles? Don't be stupid. I have
That's pretty
too much
obvious.
passion and conviction to cross that line. That's the absolute reality of the one and only.
This bitch is really
You
crazy.
clearly explained your hobby and your philosophy.
That's not really adding
But that's
anything
not
to
all
it by
there
me
is to
saying
it.
that,
It's a different matter
but
entirely. When you're
Quiet, lolly car!
lowly, curt,
I would never kill for a reason as petty as mere survival. And if by some fluke I did kill to survive, why would I bother with the message and arrangement? It'd make me the obvious suspect.
That does make some amount of sense.
Plus, whatever reason I have for killing, I would never leave out my prized scissors. Who would go out of their way to use a big, stupid, heavy dumbbell?
Maybe you used the dumbbell because you couldn't find any scissors in the school?
Any scissors? I don't just use any scissors. I only use my own set of high-class envy of the entire world.
how heavy is the dumbbell though? Because if the dumbbell's like, I don't think there's 80-pound dumbbells, but if there's like a 45-pound dumbbell, I don't know. You'd be kind of slow, unless they were from behind. But the head wound was probably in the front.
Okay, whatever. There still aren't any in the school.
Are you sure
So-
about that?
It'd be kind of hard
Da-da-da-da!
for a girl to do it. Or Genocide Joe. I mean, I guess Genocide Joe might be strong enough.
She's fully equipped.
That's right! So I can kill anywhere, anytime.
I guess the exception would definitely have to be Sakura though. Sakura can they can one punch somebody and their head will literally explode in two.
Why would I resort to dumbbells or rope when I have my
I don't think she would do that
by
though.
my side?
She's like chivalrous.
Go ahead, tell me I'm wrong.
like,
you
justified
then you
or
gutter dogs,
whatever.
all of you. Not to mention, I have no clue how to tie a good knot. So rope's totally out of the question anyway.
I have no idea what's going on anymore. Could such a heinous villain really be innocent?
But the body really was suspended, right? And nobody but the police knew about that.
Yeah. That's why we figured it had to be the real deal and not some copycat killer or whatever.
Actually, hold on. There is one person. One person who could have copied the Genocide Jack cases. Well, there's only one person else that knew about the Genocide Jack cases, and that would be Byakuya.
Here's my answer. Byakuya, it's possible you could have found out, isn't it? You'd have no problem gaining access to classified government documents or internal police records. Plus, you'd already looked through the Genocide Jack file before this all happened.
Are you saying Mr. Togami did it?
Then the reason he pushed the theory of Genocide Jack being the killer so hard was because he wanted to pin the crime on her.
I believe that if Togami did it, he would have actually used scissors to stab them. But there's no scissors,
He
right?
rearranged the scene to disguise it and make it look like I put my stamp on it.
And why would Chihiro go working out with Togami when Togami hates literally everybody?
The adorable glasses man was behind it all. Oh, I'm on fire!
Well, Byakuya, what's your response?
I see. So now the suspicion falls on me. Then I must ask, when would you say I began acting suspicious?
Looking back and thinking about it now, the way you were acting right before we discovered the body was a little strange. You wanted to go to the girls' locker room right away, right? But since you're a guy...
I should have naturally thought of the boys' locker room first. Is that what you want to say? The victim was Chihiro, a girl. Hence why I said we should check the girls' locker room.
Did we know it was Chihiro though? How
Nothing strange
you know?
about that, I'd say.
How did we know Chihiro was dead?
On the contrary, there's something very strange.
Okay then, What's so strange about it?
Don't make me
Go
answer.
ahead.
Oh
Share
gosh.
with the rest of the class.
What's the new element? Truth flashback. Weak spot. Hold down the left mouse button. Memorize that weak spot. Oh gosh. Memorize. Well, you have to use it with your keen wits, won't you? In this case, though, I will say that if you don't use a flashback, you won't be refuting anything. In the chapter 3, like the trial chapter 3, I forgot about this.
You said Byakuya was acting kind of weird before we found the
Before we
body.
found the body.
But he was acting weird.
How?
If you're presented with the opportunity to check out the girls' locker room,
You absolutely! That's a natural reaction for any.
The victim was Chihiro.
so of course I would say there was no time for.
I think I have to copy that.
Wish you'd taken
The
me
victim
with
was
you.
Chihiro, and then I have to do before the body.
So, you said Byakuya was acting kind of weird before we found the body. But he was acting weird.
Before we found the body.
If you're presented with the opportunity to check out the girls' locker room,
That's unnatural! The victim was Chihiro. So of course I would
suggest we check. There was no
I
time.
might be
What's
wrong.
so
It might be the other way
strange?
around.
Taking me with you?
So, you said Byakuya was acting kind of weird before we found the
Yeah,
body.
it's the other way around.
Shoot!
So, you said Byakuya was acting kind of weird before we... But he was acting...
If you're presented with the opportunity to check out...
That's unnatural! The victim was Chihiro.
There we go.
No, that's wrong.
I knew what it was, but that kind of confused me a little bit. And we already did like a full
I'll
combo.
tell you what's so strange about that.
No perfect round with the first one, so I don't really need to perfect any class trial. It's kind of chill, you know.
Because up until we actually discovered the body,
I mean, I was
we
technically
couldn't have
right.
known who the victim
I
was.
already figured it out.
So your
So I'm
claim
not
that
dumb,
you went to the girls'
but
locker room first because Chihiro was the victim doesn't hold
it's a
up.
bit confusing.
I see. That's a good answer, I must admit. Interesting. Very interesting indeed. But your reasoning is still too weak. What's wrong? Is that it? Surely you've got more than that. Go
Yeah.
ahead.
I don't know.
Show us.
What's with Byakuya's attitude? It's like he doesn't even care. I've got him cornered, but he's acting like it has nothing to do with him.
What's the matter? You're not finished already, are you? There must be more to it.
There is, I think.
There is more to it. Think about it. We just talked about the differences between this case and past Genocide Jack incidents. The proof you're looking for is hidden in there.
Oh? Proof that I'm the culprit, you mean?
The differences between this case and the other Genocide Jack murders. The evidence that proves Byakuya is responsible is hidden in there? What could it be? Oh gosh.
What? The difference between...
Wait, let me look at the accounts. I forgot about them. Let me see. Aoi's account. Cover your distance. How do I scroll down? Oh. Library last time. And Celeste's account is the last one. Oh yeah.
You want me to explain
Probably
it again?
that.
When I want to kill, I use my very own special scissors. And I use those same scissors to arrange the body.
But Chihiro was suspended with... It was some kind of rope.
That's right! It absolutely...
Then there must be something...
Hey, Byakuya, wait.
I'd never seen that rope before in my life. Obviously, somebody else
Must have had it hidden away somewhere.
Yeah, I need to be a bit quicker. That was definitely the right statement.
When I want to kill, I use my... And I use those same scissors to...
But Chihiro, it was some kind of...
That's right! It absolutely...
Then there must be something...
Hey, Byakuya.
I'd never seen that rope before in my life.
There we go.
No, that's wrong.
We got it. Nice.
Actually, I'm pretty sure you have seen it before. Because, you see, that rope, or should I say, that extension cord?
What? An extension cord?
Yep, an extension cord.
Byakuya, you've used the extension cord in the library more than once, haven't you? And the same extension cord that was in the library all this time went missing after the murder. And there's no way someone who uses that extension cord as much as you do wouldn't discover that fact.
Then Byakuya must be the one who took the extension cord. I can't imagine any other possibility.
That's really what you think? Then
Yes.
your conclusion is something like this? I killed Chihiro in the girls' locker room, then hung her up and wrote that bloody message. I intentionally made it look like Genocide Jack was behind it. Is that about right?
That should be about right. He's doing it again. He's totally calm, totally unconcerned. As if he's not even involved. Wait, not even involved?
What's wrong? I asked you if you think that's what happened.
Hell yes, that's what happened.
I don't disagree with not disagreeing.
I don't think Byakuya is
He
the
kept
killer.
calling this a game, right? So he'd be totally willing to do something like this to win.
Sorry, but could we hold on just a second? I think we need to talk about this a little more.
Do we really need to? You've already decided.
Why
you
is
did
Kyoko
it.
so quiet?
I know, but still, there's something
Gonna
that's
fucking
still
steal our
bothering me.
spotlight. We've literally been carrying this entire case with Byakuya.
Is that right? And what, pray tell, is still bothering you? I killed her in the girls' locker room, then disguised my crime.
By making it seem like he's a killer, kinda helps him give him an alibi or
Specifically, I
But
dressed it up
it
to
kind
make
of,
it look
it's like a
it was the
double-edged
work of a
sword. Like if he didn't have
homicidal
Makoto,
psychopath.
or like Kyoko, or whatever,
What
then he'd
about
be
all
fucked.
that bothers you?
What was that just now? Something's not right. Byakuya's remarks just now, there's something... Genocide Jack's presence, extension cord, scene of the crime.
I got it!
Oh! Whew.
You say you
That
killed
was a-
Chihiro in the girls' locker room, right?
I was like, either a 1 in 3rd chance or
Are
a
you
1 in
sure
2
about that?
chance. For me.
Isn't it possible that the murder took place somewhere else?
How disappointing. What kind of question
Pretty high
is
odds
that?
still.
Even she was found dead in the girls' locker room. There is absolutely no question about that. How could the scene of the crime have been anywhere else?
Well, I think it's entirely possible that she was killed somewhere else, then carried there later, along with the rest of the murder scene.
The rest of the murder scene? That was awfully
Yeah, and I
specific.
forgot
Please tell me you have a reason for saying all of that.
what Byakuya was saying, so I was trying to hit the F2
I
key.
believe I do.
Hey Byakuya, did it just take you off guard? When the story suddenly moved to the crime scene, Byakuya, who had been so confident up till now, maybe Byakuya never even realized that the actual scene of the crime could have been somewhere else.
Hey, don't just move on without permission. What do you mean she was killed somewhere else?
Come on, Makoto. If there's any chance the murder took place somewhere else, let's see the proof.
Evidence that shows the murder takes place somewhere else. I just need to focus on things that got switched. First of all, the 2 locker room posters. Those got switched.
I got it!
And then the
Proof
carpet
that
got
she
switched
was
as
killed
well.
somewhere else is the poster that's hanging in each locker room.
Your proof is some posters?
But if the evidence
The
is in
poster
one,
in
then
the
it's
girls'
definitely the
locker room
posters.
was a picture of a big boobed supermodel. But don't you think that's kind of strange? Why would the girls' locker room have a poster like that?
I bet those massive jugs of hers were totally fake!
Maybe.
Meanwhile, the boys'
Actually,
locker
nah.
room had a poster of the super
That
popular
would have been
boy
funny
band
as shit
Tornado.
if some guy like Mondo or Hifumi or Yasuhiro's like, oh, I don't think so. That
Again,
would have been funny,
that
bro.
doesn't really seem to belong in a boys' locker room.
So you're saying that maybe the posters
Like, how
were
would they know?
switched?
And there's one other thing I
Expert
noticed
boobs.
about the locker room.
Boob analyzer.
You know what I'm talking about, right, Sakura?
Like Issei from
You're
High School
referring to
DxD.
my protein coffee, aren't
Protein coffee?
While I was in the girls' locker room earlier, I spilled some protein coffee on the carpet, but I noticed that after the murder, the stain had been totally scrubbed away.
No, it's not that the stain was scrubbed away. It was moved.
I got it!
It was moved to the boys'
the
locker
stain
room.
on the girls' locker room carpet wasn't scrubbed away. In fact, I found it on the boys' locker room carpet.
That's definitely the stain from my protein coffee.
Then, does that mean that the carpets were switched too? But why would anyone do that?
To move the murder scene from one locker room to the other. It's certainly plausible, don't you think? What? In other words,
the racks can
in
be
order to
moved.
completely swap the scene of the crime, the blood-stained poster and carpet were moved along with the dead body.
You just gotta move it, like push it, and then lift it onto the carpet. Once you move the carpets, and then just lift one side on the carpet, and then lift the other side on the carpet, and just push it again.
By
That's
doing
it.
this, the killer
It's not
was
that
able
hard,
to change the
but you have
entire
to be,
room where
like,
the murder took place.
Kind of strong.
I can
Like you
certainly
can't be weak.
follow your reasoning, but why would the culprit bother doing that?
Huh?
Why would they go through all that trouble of switching the scene of the crime? Actually, an even bigger question. If the murder did take place in the boys' locker room, then how did Chihiro get in the boys' locker room in the first place? To get into the locker rooms, you have to swipe your e-handbook across the card reader device.
You can borrow
Chihiro's
one.
handbook should have only allowed her access to the girls' locker room. She had no way to get into the boys' locker room to begin with.
No, she did have a way, and I can tell you what it was.
I highly doubt that.
Shut up! I'm telling you, I know how she could have done it.
Is he right? Could Chihiro really have gotten into the boys' locker room somehow? I wonder how they determine which music goes where. Broken e-handbook, 2 locker room posters.
Is it really possible? Could Chihiro really have gotten into the boys' locker room somehow?
Ah! I got it! She must have hacked her e-handbook.
No.
She was the ultimate programmer after all.
No.
I'm sure that would have been no problem for her.
No, I don't think that's it.
She needs like a computer or some shit.
I was in the main hall.
Huh? What thing?
I'm talking about Leon's handbook, of course.
Oh,
She
that's
had
wrong.
That. She could get into the boys' locker room, no problem.
Yeah,
Is it really possible?
I think,
Could
yeah, that's
Chihiro
definitely
really
it.
have gotten...
Ah! I got. She must have hacked her e-handbook. She was the ultimate. I'm sure that would have been.
No, I don't. She used the thing.
Huh? What?
I'm talking about Leon's handbook, of course. She had that. She could get into the boys'
I
locker
messed
room,
up
no
again.
problem.
I just gotta skip through all of it again.
Is it really? Could
Not that,
Chihiro really have got...
It's not that
She
bad.
must have hacked her e-handbook. She was the ultimate. I'm sure that would have been.
No, I don't. She used the thing that was.
Huh? What thing?
I'm talking about Leon's handbook, of course.
There we go.
No, that's wrong.
I almost missed it for a third time. Third time's a charm, technically. Or, yeah, third time's a charm.
I
got
don't
it
think
the third time.
Chihiro used Leon's handbook.
Why not?
Because Leon's handbook was broken.
Oh. Well, then, yeah, I guess that'd be...
I am struck silent by how quickly you gave up.
Plus, isn't there a regulation against using someone else's handbook?
Actually, the rule states that loaning your handbook is prohibited. It says nothing about borrowing one. In other words, you could borrow a dead person's handbook all you want, and you'd be safe.
Yup, yup, yup. Hit the nail square on the noggin.
Of course, if it were broken, that wouldn't make any sense anyway.
So then, she must have hacked
No.
hers, like I said. She used her ultimate programmer skills and.
You can't hack a little screen if it's all it has is just the display and the rules and like the names and stuff. You can't do that. You need like a computer, and the computer in the library is broken.
You can't fix an e-handbook. The instant you open one up, a security buzzer starts blaring.
So, if she didn't use Leon's handbook,
And I doubt that the
she
little
didn't modify
e-handbook
her
has
own
Bluetooth, so you can't hack it without a cord. And I don't think there's any cords in
Maybe
this school
Mr.
except for the
Naegi's
extension
initial
cord for
assumption
the
is
lamp.
just wrong.
It seems like there's no way she could have got into the boys' locker room.
Okay then, I vote for Byakuya.
No. Is that it then? Chihiro was killed in the girls' locker room, and Byakuya is the one who did it. Really. But still, I don't know what else I can do.
Hold on a second. I agree with you, though. I think you're on the right track.
What the? You finally decide to open your mouth and that's what you've got to say? There's no way she could get in the boys' locker room, right?
Why are you so sure she
Yeah,
couldn't get in?
I'm pretty sure.
What?
What are you talking about?
I'm pretty sure,
What other
Kyoko.
way is there?
Well, to explain that, why don't we take a little break from the trial? I'd like you all to come see something.
Wait. Just what do you think you're doing?
Don't worry. This'll make the whole trial more exciting. I'm sure that thought must please you.
Kyoko's like the MILF that like helps you. She's like a mom. She kind of helps you when you're in deep trouble, or she just carries the entire trial.
Huh? It'll make things
Throughout
more
Danganronpa 1.
exciting? Well, alright then. I declare an official class trial recess.
For real?
Now then, what is it you want to show us? It better not be boring or I'll be very unhappy.
Oh, I have no doubt it'll meet your lofty expectations. So
before I even knew what was happening, the class trial had been put on hold. We headed off with Kyoko in the lead, and where she took us was the crime scene.
The girls' locker room?
We've already searched this place top to bottom! What are you trying to pull, Missy?
I'd like you to examine the victim's body one more time.
You want to check it again?
Be sure to examine the entire body very carefully. Take your time.
Examine her carefully? Like using our hands?
Yeah, Hifu.
No way, no way, no way, no way, no way!
It's probably best if I don't run my hands all over a girl's dead body.
It's not that I'm creeped out or anything, it's just based on religious grounds, you know?
What religious grounds?
Very well. I'll...
But you're a girl. You shouldn't have to touch a dead body. Just let one of the boys do it.
No, it's okay. I think Chihiro would rather have a girl examine her. So just leave this to me.
Sakura. What is this? Some kind of secret girl-on-girl action? Is that what you two are about? That's not it at all. Stop screwing around.
Okay.
I mean, I guess
here
that's
I
kind of
go.
true. They're like always hanging
I'm
out.
sorry, Chihiro. Please excuse the intrusion.
See, but just because two people of the same gender hang out or they're like friendly, it doesn't mean they're lesbian or gay. That's where like it makes me kind of mad or upset that because two people are friends, people are like, oh yeah, they're gay. Like that doesn't make sense. Like if you just because you like your pet cat doesn't mean you're into bestiality. That doesn't make any sense, right? So why would that apply to humans, right? Just because you're friends with the opposite sex doesn't mean you're straight. And just because you're friends with the same sex doesn't mean you're gay, right? Well, that's pretty obvious. Putting her hands together in a brief prayer, Sakura then began to quietly examine her body.
Be sure to check her entire body, and I believe we will solve this particular mystery.
Her entire body? I know you say that, but... What? This is... What is this...
What is it?
Not possible. It's not possible.
Sakura's eyes were staring wildly at Chihiro's lifeless form. Her massive frame trembled.
This girl is
what?
Is a boy!
Oh.
Ah, I see. So she was actually a he. Interesting. Thank you for confirming this fact. What?
I like how he's super calm. He's like, yes. Oh, this was this. Oh, yeah. And then he starts freaking out in the second
joking, right?
or message.
I wouldn't joke about this.
Ben, it's really true?
Chihiro is a boy.
Guy?
Oh, what? You guys didn't know? Heck, I knew that right off the bat. Chihiro Fujisaki was totally a guy.
He was a cross-dresser? Oh, I'm really on fire! I wish I had killed him!
So that's what Kyoko wanted to show everyone, huh? Interesting. Yes, that certainly does make things much more exciting. Now let's ride this wave of excitement back to the courtroom and get back to the trial. Ahem. I do apologize for keeping you waiting. Now then, let's resume the class trial. We've all just learned of the shocking revelation that Chihiro was actually a boy. Let's pick up from there.
She was a he. Chihiro is a boy.
Yes,
right?
well, I don't know his reason for hiding it, But the fact is, Chihiro was not a girl, but a boy.
Oh yeah, that's probably why Kyoko was silent the entire time, because she might have messed up or whatever and said like, oh yeah, he's a boy too early. Do you think that Chihiro was actually a guy? The thought had never even crossed my mind.
And because the victim was male, he would have had no problem gaining access to the boys' locker room.
Assuming his handbook did, in fact, list his gender as male, then yes, that would be true.
Of course his handbook said he was a boy. He dressed like a girl, but he was a boy through and through.
So then, there should be no issue with Makoto's initial assertion. The victim was killed in the boys' locker room, and was then later moved to the girls' locker room. And the killer could have easily used Sayaka or Junko's handbook to get into the girls' locker room.
So Chihiro really was killed in the boys' locker room?
I still don't understand the motive for moving the body, but yes, that does seem plausible.
And I guess nobody would really see it, because everybody like that uses the locker rooms, like Aoi and Sakura, only work out during the day, not the nighttime.
Well, I must admit, I did find it rather odd.
And I doubt Celeste works out. Celeste just saw Chihiro in the warehouse.
I knew he felt
That's
a
it.
little off. There was a certain incongruity to his female body.
This is the most titillating situation!
So now everything has been connected. All the mysteries have finally become clear.
Okay, well, connected or clear or whatever. We still think you're the killer, remember?
Very interesting. This has become very interesting indeed.
He's off in his own little world.
What about you, Makoto? After everything we've learned, do
No,
you
I
still
don't
think
think
Byakuya's
Byakuya is the killer. No.
Well, without a doubt, Byakuya is the one that made Chihiro's death look like Genocide Jack did it. But I think he might not actually be the killer after all.
What?
But he just seems to be too easygoing about all this. Like he's enjoying us solving the mystery. The way he's acting, it makes it seem like it doesn't have anything to do with him.
And you think that might be because it doesn't have anything to do with him?
Plus, the evidence he left behind was a little too... how can I put it? Overt. He consciously chose to use the extension cord,
Yeah.
knowing it could connect him to the murder. At least, that's how I see it. And Byakuya, when you found out the murder took place in the boys' locker room, it seemed to rattle you.
Because here's the thing: if he really wanted it to seem like it was Genocide Jack, he would find like something to stab them with, not an extension cord to hang them up.
And then again, when you found out Chihiro was actually a guy, if you really were the killer, that stuff wouldn't have had any effect on you.
So that's your thinking, huh? Well, it bothers me that you don't have more concrete reasons, but it's fine. I guess I'll mark it as correct for the time being.
Mark it as correct?
He's right. I am not the culprit. I just happened to come across the corpse in the girls' locker room and decided to alter it.
Are you fucking with us right now?
No, I am not effing with you right now. I'm telling you the truth.
Well, I find it very hard to believe.
Go ahead. Find it very hard to believe. You're free to be executed along with the rest of us.
If you're really telling the truth, then why? Why do you do that to his body?
My reasons hardly matter right now. Uncovering the culprit is much more important, wouldn't you say? Now then, if it wasn't me, who was it?
Well, I don't think I can say for sure without talking about it a little more.
We're seriously gonna keep going? We're all good, aren't we? I thought it was clear Byakuya did it.
No, I'm with Makoto. If there's
I
any
wonder
doubt
what else
whatsoever, we need to explore every
We still
possibility.
I think we still have Aoi's account and Celeste's account,
Because
as well as
if we're
Sakura's
wrong,
account.
We all
So we
got
have
here.
quite a few
That's true.
other evidence that
Very
we
well
need to
then. I'm
incorporate
with you
into the
too.
case.
Damn straight. Count me in.
Do you not have a mind of your own?
Of course I do. What am I, an ant or something?
Anyway, let's discuss this all as a group one more time. We still have time to make our decision.
That's very true.
Our lives are all on the line.
Excellent. Then shall we resume our game of hide and seek?
But if Byakuya didn't do it, then who's the real killer? Who murdered Chihiro? There's one thing we can be sure that we know about the killer. The killer is a guy.
I got it!
Since the crime scene was the boys' locker room, you would need a boys' handbook to get in. Since Leon's handbook is apparently broken, the killer would have had to use their own. In other words, it had to have been a guy. But that's still not enough. I need to find some more clues. Celeste's account disappearing stain. So it must be Celeste's
Isn't
account.
there a single clue that might lead us to who did it?
Well, clues are one thing.
Did nobody get a...
I'm sure if someone saw the killer, they...
Perhaps someone saw the victim at some point. Even that might be
Yeah,
enough for now.
Celeste's account.
Yeah. All we need right now is any kind of new info.
It's over. It's all
I'm
over.
completely. No, that was so
You wanna
close.
know who saw the killer? And only the killer. And it's not like they're just gonna game over, man.
Yay! No! Not game over!
Saw the victim, the killer. And only the...
There we go.
No,
Got it.
wrong. I believe someone else did see the victim before he was murdered. What do you think, Celeste?
Now that you mention it, yes, I did see him.
Huh? Really?
Oh, but I suppose only Makoto knows about this. The rest of you had no idea, did you? That is why you're all making such ugly noises.
Whatever! Just hurry up and tell us!
It was last night, right before nighttime. I saw Chihiro in the dormitory warehouse. I saw him stuffing a track jacket into a duffel bag, and then, I assume, he headed off to exercise.
A track jacket and a duffel bag? But we didn't find anything like that at the murder scene.
It seems likely that the culprit destroyed them to get rid of any evidence.
And that is when he said something that struck me as rather odd. Chihiro told me he was in a hurry, but why would he be in a hurry? Only if someone were waiting for him, I should think.
So, Mr. Fujisaki was on his way to meet with someone, and then they were going to work out together?
But Hina and I
Yeah.
had invited him to exercise with us plenty of times, and he always declined.
Probably because he was afraid you'd find out the secret he was hiding, right?
Which means that conversely, he must have trusted whoever he was meeting with very much, enough so that he was willing to risk his secret being revealed.
What a marvelous friendship! The point is, whoever he met up with is the culprit, right? So we just gotta figure out who it was.
But knowing what we know, I can't even guess.
Don't make me
No.
guess.
You already have what you need to make the connection.
Huh?
You know who the killer is.
Bro,
Seriously?
Who is it? Who's the killer?
tell them, Makoto.
Think back to the track jacket and duffel bag the killer disposed of. Focus on the details of these items, and it should become obvious who was waiting for him.
Are you sure about that? You really think we can figure out who did it based on two pieces of evidence that we don't have?
Why? You want to track down some fingerprints or something?
Even if we had the equipment for that, we wouldn't know how to use it.